Now we're going to talk about, we're going to go back to that money concept, the way it starts, but now we're going to talk about earning income. As you know, most of us in America, we work, we get up in the morning, we go to work, we exchange services, and we get paid by check. And we use that check, go to the bank, deposit that, and get the money that we can use. What means really earning income?
The earning is, like you said, it's we provide our services, which it comes in form of our labor, and the employer pays us at the end of 2 weeks, at the end of the week. But when you think about it and the value of money, you work today and you don't get paid until 2 weeks. So there is no interest though that you're earning on that money. The person that is laboring you at the end of the day does not pay you your $100 or $200 that you earned at the end of the day. So there is no interest on that $200. It's interest-free money. So if I were to pay that service every day, it's like money that, you know, when I get paid 2 weeks down the road, let's say they paid me $1,000 in 2 weeks, that is not really $1,000 because now it's devaluated through time. By the time I get my money, I'm already taxed time. So even if I get $1,000, which means that by the time I get my money, the guy either made income, revenue on my money, interest on my money, or I've been taxed through time because that's money that I could have invested that I'm not investing.
Okay, I think you thought that very good. Wherever we're working, you get paid after 2 weeks. The amount of the money you receive by form of check in 2 weeks, that money, the value of that money have devalued by the time you receive it. Because before you get to earn that money, you have to provide service. And while you're providing service and you receive the money after 2 weeks, that money devalue a little bit. Why is it the employee do that?
Initially, it was just to gain themselves time because they didn't have that cash sitting somewhere. Most of that money, they had to borrow it, or so that service, when they provide it, they don't get paid right away. But that is all in a systematic way. I'm talking now in theory, in economic theory, yes, that by the time I get that money, it is devaluated. Because if it was money that somebody was investing, let's say it was a banking system and I was getting that money every day, somebody was investing it overnight or every 2 weeks, by the time I receive that money, it's with interest. But unfortunately, employees don't charge interest. So by the time we get the money, unfortunately, it has already lost its value.
The value.
Yeah.
Okay, now we talk about us. As people who work regularly every day and go provide the service and get a paycheck, get the money. Once we get that money with us, the way we use it, I'm talking especially for us Africans living abroad, like you living in the US, living overseas, the way we manage our money. How do we always get behind, especially Africans? Whatever we do, wherever we work, we always get behind when it comes to money. What's the problem with us Africans?
It's a problem of language. We translate our concepts from our old concepts to these new modern concepts. It's like speaking Wolof to American people when they only speak English.
Hard to understand.
It's hard to understand. With money, we do face a couple of difficulties in terms of managing it. Everybody doesn't wake up in the morning and say, I'm a doctor. Everybody doesn't wake up in the morning and say, I'm an electrician. But everybody wakes up in the morning and says, I'm a financier. I'm an economist. I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
But business is a language. Finance is a language. Money is a language. So you have to learn the language in order to be able to speak it. I'll give you an example. If you make $1 income at the end of the month, Uncle Sam takes automatically 25 cents. So you're left with
75 cents.
If I take my car, the gas, the insurance and everything else, and I'm paying already 20 cents, so I'm left with what? 50 cents, 55 cents. That's all that I have left. I haven't talked about rent, I haven't talked about electricity, I haven't talked about anything. Plus, I have to send money home. So if I take, let's say, 10 cents out of that money to send to my family abroad to live, I'm left now with 45 cents. You can start seeing how much that money is quickly shrinking. Before I know, at the end of the month, I have to spend $1.25. I only earned $1. But now I'm spending $1.25, which means that I'm already in the hole. That 25 cents that I already spent, it's what we call debt. It's like a deficit. So every month I'm adding a deficit. So before you know that, I'm in the hole. Because every month I keep on digging myself a big hole. So you remember that I said my car. A car is a means of transportation. It's not something to certify your personality or your standing in a society. And a lot of Africans spend a lot of money into a car because that's, for them, when they come into America, that's a way of saying, now this is prestige. This is, now I have my status. And a lot of spendings that we do, not that we don't have a lot of bills to pay, but we have a lot of spendings that are based on prestige, meaning how the society views me, how my neighbors view me, how my friends and colleagues view me. And those spendings are the holes that we keep on digging that doesn't allow us to become investors. And I'll go into that part later on just to explain what is a consumer and what is an investor.
So, if I really understood you very good, once we are back home, we have a dream to come overseas. We come in America, we come with idea. Each one has his own idea. When I come in America, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Whatever is your reason. And once you get here, God help you, you find the way to work and to survive. And now you want to live better in America by the money you earn, you know, as ALIOUNE say, buying a nice car and everything. Which one I don't see nothing bad about it. But my concern is why we don't understand. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm still stuck on the same spot. Today I have a Lexus. When I get my income tax next year, I'm going to have a Hummer. And my life personally doesn't change. I'm changing cars. Why we don't understand? Like, for some point, we have to change our way of thinking so we can go ahead.
It's becoming between a consumer, what I was talking about earlier, and an investor. We have two ways of spending money. That is what I call an investment. I bought a bottle of water at $1, and my intent is to sell it at $1.25. So every dollar that I spend on that bottle,
I get 25 back, 25 cents back. Yeah.
If I multiply that by X, I become a business. Meaning that on every dollar that I spend, I'm counting that I'll get 25 cents. Okay. If I take my money and I buy a Hummer that I just drive to take me from work to home, that is a consumption. I don't get any money back from this because it's like taking money and I put kerosene and I put a match on it and I
just burn it. It's gone.
It's gone. I don't get anything back. The dollar that I spent, if I am lucky, I may get 60 cents or I may get 50 cents in 2-3 years, meaning that if I decide to sell the car or whatever the situation may be.
Oui.
But that's two ways of spending money. One is an investor, the other one is a consumer. If you are renting a house, for example, that's a consumption. It's not an investment. I'm not getting anything back. It's like a bucket with a hole in it. Because if I spend $1 today, in 5 years, I'm not going to get more money. All the money that I put in is sinking into the ground.
It's gone.
It's gone. If I had bought that same house now, though, at $1, 5 years from now, that same house is worth maybe $1.50, $1.60. And I paid that dollar that I borrowed initially to maybe now 60, 70 cents. So I have what we call equity. I have an investment. I have money that is sitting somewhere that if I decide to sell this house, I can get my dollar back plus some benefit maybe. So there are two ways of looking at money. There is one that is a consumer and there is one that is an investor. But we are not educated. People are not trained to think about money in terms of how does it impact their livelihood. When you're young and healthy, you can work. But at 60, 70, you don't have the energy anymore to be working. But if I had not invested enough in my youth, when I'm older, there is nothing waiting for me over there.
For that reason, that's why we have Mr. ALIOUNE here. He's a businessman. He's doing real estate. He's a man who can help us to understand really the concept of investing the money. You see his number, it's going to pass through down here, so you can call him and you can talk to him. He can explain to you exactly how you want to invest your money. I'm going to come back to that subject about us earning income and what we have to do so we can start saving. Because my understanding is before you even think about investing money, you got to start saving. How is it hard, especially for us, Africans, living especially in America? It's so hard for us to save money. It's very hard to save money. Why is it so hard for us to save money while we're driving home and everything? I know you explained that, but break that down so really we can understand, like whatever I'm doing, I need to start saving. So when I reach that age, 65 or 70, there is some amount of money over there waiting for me. Because we have a concept, like we live here, we're going to go back. Which one most likely is not happening? Why is it so hard for us to save money and we don't think ahead?
America is a society that we call in French, une société de consommation. Everybody is built to be a consumer. There's a lot of businesses in America, and everybody wants that dollar that you're earning. Everybody's fighting for it. That's why you see all these commercials on TV. Everybody's saying, please come to my shop and spend money. Everybody is begging you to come. It's your cell phone, it's your car, it's your house. They sell all these beautiful lifestyles to you that you are willing to trade that hard-earned currency that you earn to be able to buy their products. But the first person that you have to buy his product is you as the laborer. And I'll explain. If I earn $1 as income, if I take 10 cents out of that $1 and I say I'm investing it into my 401k. Most companies will match you from $1 that I earn, they will match you 3 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents at the most. So on every 10 cents that I put, the company is matching me 3, 5,
or 6 cents.
So at the end of every year, I have saved, or every month, sorry, I have saved 16 cents. At the end of the year, that's money that is accumulated. So instead of Uncle Sam taxing me at $1, Uncle Sam taxes me at 90 cents. So I reduce my tax bracket. So the first investment that you have to do is going to be your basic 401k. That's the basic plan. Now, once I took that aside, so by the time, and I'll give you mathematics that will show you that if I had started even putting $100 a month at 25, by the time I'm 65, that same investment at the return of only 7% is going to return me $1 million by the time I'm 65.
Are you serious? You start investing your money by the age of 25, and let's say after 50 years, you're going to have like $1 million.
A 40-year time frame, you are worth $1 million. If you just took $100 a month.
Okay.
At a rate of return.
You make me feel bad about myself.
We're trying to educate people to get to a point where they respect money. Because money is something that has a value. And there are examples after examples. And if I just wait 10 years, from age 25 to age 35, and I start the same process, the return at 65 is only $350,000. The same investment that I started 10 years ago at age 25. If I wait until age 35 to start the same investments that I talked about, from $1 million, it falls down to $350,000.
Why is that?
lost 10 years of time. And this is the same thing with a house. It is the same thing with everything that I do in life. So time works for you in terms of money. When they say money, time is money, it's not a joke. Time is really money. If I take the same investment in a house,
Yeah.
I purchased the house at $100,000 and I put only $100 towards the house in addition to what I pay, I would save 6 years of interest. I said 6 years of interest from a 30-year mortgage just by paying $100 more.
Extra every month. Whatever your monthly bill is, you just put 100 more extra.
$100 more.
Those are the kind of education really we need, especially for us African. I'm very pleased because we have Mr. ALIOUNE here that is breaking that down so we can have at least a better understanding about how we can go from earning income every day and to start saving money, not only to save that money, but to invest that money for our own future. Because we like it or not, we come in America, as he said, we come here to consume. We are the big consumers in America. Mr. ALIOUNE, we Africans, we have that concept for us. Wherever God bless you, you come in this country, you take care of all your family, which one is back home. According to our culture, it's a good thing to do. According to the life in America, what do you think we should do? Because that one really is one question that is killing us African here in America.
Very, very good question, Herman. It's not a bad thing what we do. It's just changing slightly what we do. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
There is a system that we call tontine in the African system, where people get together and they put every month, let's say $100. And every month somebody will pick, let's say it's 10 people, every month somebody will take $1,000.
Yes.
Okay. So it's $1,000 free of interest. Okay. So if I
Yeah,
take
because
that,
you go from hand to hand, so yeah.
it's free, interest free.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I take that $1,000 right now, instead of consuming it, I say, okay, I'm gonna buy a product. I'm gonna buy whatever it is, bottles, whatever it is, and I start selling it. By the end of the year, I had an investment of 0 interest. Even if I make 25 cents to the dollar, that's 25% earning that I have on that $1,000. So I had initially $1,000. By the end of the year, it becomes $1,250. That $102,050 right now is $250 that I did not have yesterday. Okay? So if I took that $250 now and I send it home and I said, people, instead of consuming this money, the $100 that I send you every month, that is for your consumption, but this $250, let's open up a small store. The goal has to be where we create among ourselves all independent contractors, where I lend you money, you start working with that money, you start gaining something out of that money. You understand what I'm talking about?
I'm following you very good.
If our people at home that we live, we don't make them just consumers, but we make them our extension business people that at some point, 2-3 years plan, they become independent, where I don't have to send them money every month. Because it's a grocery store, it's this, it's whatever type of business we can recreate. Africans have to be culturally people that are trained to become businessmen. If the society is built into business, not consumption, but people that understand money in terms of, oh, okay, I didn't have this yesterday. 0 times 0 is always 0. But if we take $1, we invest it. It becomes $2. It becomes $3. With time, what I have done,
It's gonna expand.
it's gonna expand. But now, instead of having somebody just always extending their hand to say, give me, now I have somebody who may get to a point where they give me back and say, hey, here's your $250, invest it somewhere else.
I understand that. That's a very good conception of what we can do as Africans. But also, on that point, I see one issue. That issue is based on trust. It's based on trust. And that trust, most of the time, has been broken up, especially for our families who are back home, because most of us try to do that. And once that trust is broke, that's why we end up doing the same thing all over again. What we have to do to build that trust so we can expand as family here and abroad back home?
That's a very, very good question, Herman. The trust issues is our main hurdle. You cannot do business
Without trust.
The basic ingredient on any business transaction is that I give you something, I trust that what you give me in return is of equal value, or that it's a fair deal. If we are going in the marketplace, we do not feel that, that trust is there, we cannot do business. And unfortunately,
excuse me again. Ooh.
Okay. Throughout the years, we've gotten to a point where a lot of families have been broken because of money that is sent, but that trust has been broken. What we have to do, though, is invest into ourselves. And what I mean by this is 0 times 0, like I said earlier, equals 0. What you can do, though, is, let's say I can lose $1. I can afford losing $1. I get into contract with a lot of people to say, hey, here's my $1. Let's get into this adventure. Herman brings his $1, Malik brings his $1, John brings his $1, and we say, let's invest into buying this. We invest into buying that, and guess what? Instead of losing my $1,
We gain.
we gain. Through time, though, I may have invested another $1 somewhere else that I lose. But out of the $5, I did not invest all of it into one bucket. Out of the $5, I invested $1 here, $1 there, $1 there. That at least 2 or 3 out of those $5 will be generating money. I may lose $2, but that's part of the risk of doing business. But we keep on scaring each other. Oh yes, John, he sent money home. His dad stole the money, or his uncle took the money, or his sister took the money, and we keep scaring each other with the same stories. Oh, and that same story I can tell you, I've heard it in Congo, I've heard it in Senegal, I've heard it everywhere in Africa. So we keep scaring each other to stay at the bottom. What we have to become, though, is become people that take risk, calculated risk. When we take this risk, some of it we may gain, some of it we may lose. That's on any business transaction. It's a probability game. But I have to hedge the probability in a way that I cannot lose all of it. Not doing anything is worse than trying and failing. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm following you very good.
0 times 0 equals
0.
-1 times -1 would become at some point 1. Because that's the way the mathematics works. Minus times minus becomes a plus at some point.
Yeah.
1 plus 1 becomes 1 or 2. 1 times 1, it's still 1, but I'm getting something. 0 times 0, though, is 0. We don't go anywhere. And we cannot do the same things that our dads, our parents, or their grandparents did and expect a different result. We have to try. Even if we fail trying. But the lack of trying and the scaring each other is a handicap. So I suggest that we go to a point where we try. Let us fail. What is the worst that can happen? But at some point we will succeed. And that's what we have to see, that promised land, that we get to a point where people are trying and they are becoming successful. I can tell you, we live in Minnesota right now, and I see the Somali communities that came towards the end of the 90s.
They are successful. They're making
They are
it.
becoming very successful businessmen here,
Yeah.
and women.
Yeah.
So we have to get to a point where we try. We build successful organizations. When I see Herman trying something, instead of watching him try to say, okay, let me see when he's going to fail. Let me see how can I, hey Herman, do you need help in this? Herman says, yes, I need help. How can I contribute to my 2 cents? Even if it's not money, I can contribute ideas. I can contribute this. We have different ways that we can contribute into each other's endeavors. And that's what we have to do, is we have to be open-hearted enough that when I see a brother of mine or a sister of mine doing something, that I say, hey, have you thought of doing it this way? If they take it, fine. If they don't take it, also fine. But at least I contributed my 2 cents.
That's the reason why we have Miss ALIOUNE in the show, so it can help us really to understand I like the concepts he has, so we can help each other to, to go hands by hands so we can build up something good for ourselves. Coming back to what you just said earlier about we cannot keep doing the same thing like how a grandparent did so that we accept the results to be positive. But one thing I have to emphasize, our grandparents was very wise people. The reason why I'm saying this, because back in time, they knew the value of a cow. In order for them to exchange the cow with the corn, they knew exactly the value, how much corn they can get to give up the vache, especially if it's a female vache, because they know the difference between a male vache and a female vache. I mean, a male cow and a female cow, excuse me. So the point I try to make is like there was very wise people. They didn't use the money we use today. They was trading, but they knew the value. How come today on our generation, we don't have that mindset so we can get to earn the same value of the service that we're providing?
It's lost in translation. What happened to us is we are a generation of people that live in a world that we don't understand. So we speak, they speak to us in English. They expect us to understand English, but we don't. We understand Wolof, or we understand Lingala, or we understand Tukulur, or whatever other language we speak. So instead of saying, hey, Herman, I don't understand what you're talking about, we pretend, and we live in a world of pretense. So more we pretend, though, the more the cost is on us. Because instead of saying, I speak Wolof properly, you speak Lingala, teach me Lingala, and I'll teach you Wolof, and then we have something to exchange with each other. Because if there is nothing coming my way, your way, there's no exchange, there's no market.
Yep.
It's in ideas, it's in money, it's in business, it's in everything. You gain, you give. You gain, you give. That's the exchange. It's a life exchange. Life is exchange. If we're not sharing our ideas with our people, if we're not sharing our concept with our people, guess what? Everybody is blind. And if everybody is blind and you're the only person with one eye, everybody, when they need something, they will say, hey brother, can you please reach out and give me this? And that's what happens. For every single one of us that is successful, there is 10 or 20 people around you that are blind that need your help. So everything that they need, they have to come to you and say, Herman, can you please help? But if I'm one eye and I create a lot of one-eye people around me, guess what? After a while, I have 20 one-eye people instead of 20 blind people. And the load is lighter on everybody. Because what we have to figure out is, instead of finding the source of something and hiding it from my brothers, what I do is I find something and I say, hey brothers, guess what? There is this opportunity out there. Let's all grab it. If everybody around you, though, is successful, if you had an investment, everybody around you can put their 2 cents, 3 cents around it and fly. But what we do, generally speaking, is I find a good result or a good source of information.
Yes.
And I don't share it with my brothers. I hide it. And guess what? The moment somebody pushes me out, nobody even knew that there was that information out there. So we all lose. So those are the total actions that we do collectively, that at the end of the day, we all are stuck at the same place. But if we create an environment where, okay, today, instead of you earned your $1,000, instead of consuming it buying a car or buying shoes or whatever, and you come pretending that you're rich already, we rather look rich than be rich. If I can explain, if I take that $1,000 now, Herman bought water, I bought sandwiches, somebody else bought something else, a store or whatever, before we know, we have a place where we can all sell this. Now, instead of being consumers, we're at least trying to be businessmen. And we're trying to invest our money to gain something back. Instead of saying, hey Herman, you sell, I have a store. You sell water, bring your water in my store. On every dollar that I sell on your water, you get 10 cents, and I'll give you back 15 cents because we just sold it at $1.25. follow me?
That makes sense.
We all gain something out of this. The mistake we make is you cannot eat by yourself. And that's the biggest mistake Africans make. You cannot eat by yourself.
Exactly, that's what's happening to us Africans, especially living abroad. How it come, we live in the same family. A man and his wife, both are working every day. They wake up in the morning, they go to work every day. At the end of the month, they're fighting for money. Why is that? Especially for us Africans. And we keep doing that almost every day for 20, 25 years. There is a point we have to wake up and realize, like, if I keep doing the same thing all over again, there is no change. And change only comes when you stand up and you change yourself. You change your way. You change your ideas. You change the way you're thinking, and you create a concept that is going to help you to move ahead. You go from earning to saving, and to use that money that you save to invest that so your family, your kids, and people who want to come behind you can benefit from that point. That's the reason why we're having this show, so we can talk to you directly, my brother and my sisters, and everybody else. That's why we have Mr. ALIOUNE today, so he can help us to understand this concept. We thank you so much to be with us today, following your show, Point of View. We thank Mr. ALIOUNE to be with us, and we appreciate your intern for this show, and you are welcome anytime again. On technique, we have Mr. Malik Sam, who help us so we can realize this show. One thing I have to say to all of you, the view of Tempo Africa TV. This is our TV, and this is our show, Point of View. We are here so you guys home, you can see like we are together. Whatever we talk about is about us. Nothing for us but us. Let's put our hands together, helping each other. So one day, instead of us being consumers, we create a concept which will become a business, and now we start providing service, and we earn the money that is going to help us. Is that idea you left home to come to America? If you do, thank you for watching Tempo Africa TV. Thank you for following Point of View. We see you next time. You have a good one. Thank you.